Well, hello, everybody. My name is Tamara, and I'm with Starfish SEO and Marketing. Welcome to our monthly training webinar for July 2023. If you've missed any of our previous trainings, feel free to look back on our website located at starfishseo.com/training. There you will find our previous recorded trainings for you to refresh or share with others on your team. We are recording today, just a little public service announcement. And we will edit today's training and then be able to put it on our website, but either by the end of this week or early next week. Just a little housekeeping. We have muted everybody upon arrival, and you will get the opportunity to ask any questions during our question and answer section later on in this training. We'll unmute you, and then you can ask away. Again, thank you again for giving us the opportunity to take 30 minutes out of your busy schedules so that we can share our expertise and knowledge with all of you. Today's topic is going live on social media. Our speakers are the owner and CEO of Starfish, Paul Farmer, and our incredible second in command, Angie Linderman. Angie is our operations manager who comes to us with a decade of ServPro franchise experience and has over 10 years of working in social media and marketing. When she's not keeping our Starfish team on point, Angie is a world traveler and is overall the best aunt to her nieces and nephews whom she loves to spoil rotten. Paul is our leader here at Starfish, our CEO, and he has over 3 decades of marketing experience in the healthcare industry, as well as retail and restoration. He is not only a business owner, public speaker, teacher, coach, and creative writer. Please welcome Paul and Angie. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Tamara. That was very generous. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Tamara.
Yeah, so awesome. Today we're going to be talking about how to go live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. But first, we want to tell you why you should go live and why it's important to have as part of your marketing plan. There's lots of reasons why going live is important. And one of them, one of the biggest really, is that it helps your business to connect with your audience. It helps to foster engagement and build trust with your audience and clientele. Excuse me. Live videos tend to perform better and receive higher engagement on social media platforms. That's all social media platforms. Even, I was going to say Threads. Threads is a new one. You can't go live on it just yet, but I give it a month. I'm sure you will be able to. But all of these social platforms prioritize live videos, even with all of the changes in the algorithms that happen constantly. The one constant in social media is that it's changing, but live videos are always prioritized. So it's really helpful to have those videos in your feed across your channels because it helps those platforms push it to a wider audience. So you'll get more eyeballs on it. Going live also can help to eliminate the need for expensive production equipment, as well as the editing involved when you are doing a more produced video. So it makes it more time effective and cost effective for you as part of your business and marketing strategy. And this is for businesses of all sizes. It helps because it's direct to camera typically, and it's a lot less equipment and time necessary. Going live can help to give you a platform for your business to showcase your brand, the personality, the company culture, and values that make your company so unique. Going live can also help to share behind the scenes content, so that be from your warehouse, your storefront, your company meetings, all hands on deck, whatever they may be. It allows you to tell a compelling story to your audience about what makes your company different and what makes you stand out in the sea of competition. So looking at going live, important things to just think about is when you're deciding to post, think about where your ideal audience is and where they spend time online. For many of our clients, they are service-based. I'm not sure if you can hear sirens. If you can, I apologize. But if your audience, typically for many of our clients, are homeowners or property owners, typically then you'd be looking at, an age range of 35 to 40 or 55, 65, what have you. So your audience, maybe TikTok's probably not the best spot for you. Probably Facebook and Instagram is the better spot for you. So knowing your target audience and where they spend time is important. Because there are so many social media platforms, it's best to decide which ones to focus on as opposed to trying to hit all of them. So go to where your audience is. You can save on most platforms, you can save your live video as a video to your phone or to your computer and then reshare that across other platforms. So for instance, if you go live on Facebook, you can then save that live and then post it to your YouTube video or YouTube channel. So you're able to use your content more than once, which is nice. When you are going live, people do not expect perfection because they know it's live, it's off the cuff to some degree. So they're more forgiving if you make stumbles, if you kind of lose your words. So be yourself, showcase your company, your culture, and your values, and be authentic. That helps people to get to know you and your business, and they want to know your more authentic self versus a more polished presentation that you're wanting to give and maybe an edited video. In addition to the 3 platforms we're going to talk about today, you can go live on other platforms. Some of the main ones you can go live on are LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch, and then there's even more. But again, thinking back to where your audience is, just because you can go live somewhere doesn't mean it's going to help you. It's just more time that you're spending. So really think about where your audience is to help you know where you should spend some time. So thinking through what it looks like to go live, making sure you have a really strong connection for Wi-Fi or cell signal is important. You want to make sure you're not glitching and buffering. I know a couple weeks ago, Surf Pro Convention was happening. So at events like that, where there's a lot of people using one shared network or system, there can be a huge draw on bandwidth. So in situations like that, it may be best to actually turn off your Wi-Fi and just solely rely on your cell signal. Yes, there'll still be a lot of people drawing on the cell signal on the towers around you, but you should, in theory, have a better connection that way than a Wi-Fi. So think about things like that when you're out and about. Engage with your audience. When you go live, people who are your followers will be notified, then they can join you. So often they will ask you questions and comments as they come on, just like here, that chat feature. So answer the questions when they ask them and make sure to greet them when they come on. It's just nice and it helps to build that engagement and connection. There we go. Try to broadcast for longer so it allows more people to be notified that you're live and then they can join you. It's kind of a fine line. You don't want to be vamping for too long because people will then feel like you're killing time and trying to expand for too long to stay there. So it is a fine line. You want to give people time to join you, but you also don't want to stay, longer than you should. And remember, your live videos, once it's live, it's not that it just disappears. It will still stay in the feed and in your channel. So if people missed it, they are still going to be promoted. It will still be promoted in their feed and in their page. So even if you only had 12 eyeballs actually while you were live, it will still be shown to many more people throughout its lifetime online. Have a plan of what you're going to talk about and share. Doesn't need to be a script, but have 2 or 3 things you want to talk about. Are you promoting an event that's coming up? Are you running a special? What have you? Did you just sign a huge commercial large loss from a storm event and you want to showcase that? What is it you want to talk about? Have that prepared. We also suggest having the title and the written content also pre-planned. That could be on a note on your phone. That's helpful because oftentimes when you go live, and Paul's going to go over the steps later, you'll see it's actually very quick to being live and it asks for most of this information before you actually hit go live. So it's nice to have that pre-written out in a notes app or whatnot, and you can just copy and paste it into the correct fields, and then you're ready to go right then when the live inspiration strikes you. Take a second and check your surroundings. Make sure the background is clean and presented how you want. Many of our clients are restoration companies, and so you want to present a professional and clean, polished appearance. So if you are in your warehouse and it doesn't look clean, polished, and professional, maybe take a second and clean up a corner where you can do a video, or park yourself in front of just a wall and do your video from there. But just think about what your background looks like and how it's presented to your audience. A few more things to keep in mind, tips and tricks, is give people a heads up. So you want to tell your audience that you will be going live. This could be that you have a standing live call every single Monday morning at noon, or it could just be as simple as posting on your Facebook and Instagram accounts. Join us tomorrow when we go live at X time. Just let people know so that they can also hopefully join you. Make going live part of your marketing plan. It can be scary, but it is worthwhile, and it gets a lot easier to do. Which brings me to this. So don't be intimidated by going live. Just have a few ideas of what you're going to talk about and then do it. The first few will be kind of scary and maybe weird, and you might feel like that wasn't as great as I wanted, but the more you practice, the better it's going to go. And then just make sure you're showcasing your community and your company. Think about ways to do that and places to do that. So don't be afraid to go live at events like Chambers of Commerce, community movies in the parks if you're a sponsor, 5Ks if you're a sponsor, what have you, job sites, staff meetings in your office, celebrations for work anniversaries. All these are very fun things that people want to see, and it helps to showcase your culture and values for your company. And so with that, about half an hour that we talked about why to go live and some tips and tricks, I'm going to hand it over to Paul, and he's going to go over the nuts and bolts of how to do it.
Thanks so much, Angie. So one of the things about all of these platforms is you can do it from your phone, you can do it from your computer, you can do it from your iPad. So each one of them has a slightly different interface, but the concept is exactly the same. So we'll show you a couple screenshots from each of these to scroll through, but basically starting with Facebook, you want to go to your business page, which is different than your regular Facebook page. And although you could get to there from, I guess, your regular page as well if you needed to, and you select live video. Once you're in there, you're going to hit go live. You're going to fill in your info to go live. One thing I would caution you to do is don't just try to do all this real time. If you know 15 minutes before you're going to go live, take a minute and write down what you want the title of your, your live video to be. If you have somebody you're going to tag, let's say you're doing a continuing education training, or you're doing something with an insurance agency or a local fire department, you might go out and find their actual monikers before you do this. Like their page, subscribe to their page, follow their page, so that if you want to tag them, you can. You can do that real time. You can also acknowledge them as they come on board. So do that just a second before, and then that way you can just copy and paste it and drop it in there, rather than have to try to type it all live. So then once you get over to the app on Facebook, it's very similar. You'll notice that it's got a spot to select your business page and go on to the sign in at the bottom of the form, select live, then you're going to go right back down to video and hit go live again. It's pretty straightforward. Most of these services have a similar vibe and similar feel. You'll see, obviously, Instagram's owned by Facebook, so you can do it from the Instagram app. I don't think you can do live from Instagram website. You have to do, or from your computer. You have to do it from their app for your mobile device. But go to your profile, hit the plus at the top, scroll down to the menu to get to live. Once you get there, you're going to add your information. Same routine. If you've copied and pasted it, you can just drop it in here. That makes it way easier. And then select public or practice. If you want to just go to a small audience or just practice, you can go through the motions and see, if you can time how long it took you to say what you're going to say. You could just practice holding your phone, see how it's picking up. But that's definitely a way for you to get a little experience before actually jumping in. But what we recommend is just jump in head first. If you do make some mistakes, people are very forgiving. They're very understanding. And in fact, sometimes it actually makes for a little more conversation. People are like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. They'll talk to you about it. So that's a quick way to go. And then lastly, you add the title and go live. But then if you want to do it on YouTube, YouTube is constantly changing their system. And once they added the live, now you can actually do it from the website on your computer, and you can go to the business channel. You can go on and select your camera button, tell it where you want to do that. You're going to select go live, and then you're going to, basically give your presentation right there. In most of these cases, you can record it, or it'll give you the option to record it at the end. So the benefit is once you present this, your live showing, if you want to save it for future reference, in most cases, you can have a recording of that you can share in the future. YouTube app is also very similar to the page. You go to your profile, hit the plus at the bottom. It's going to give you an option to scroll down there and hit go live. And then you're going to add your information. You can pop it in there. I always select public unless there's a specific market audience. There's really no reason for you not to just do it public for everybody to view. And then there's a couple reasons why you want to go live. One of the things is, I think 39% of consumers are more likely to share content if it's delivered through a live video, or any kind of video for that matter. Video is super popular. People would just rather read the, listen to the presentation than actually read it. I don't know if that's a sign of people being lazy or not, but the statistics show that people are more prone to receive your information if you're doing it in a video format. Also, the key phrase Facebook live stream saw a 330% increase in searches from 2016 to 2018. There's reason to believe it's even more than that now, but we don't really have all the data. Facebook has not released all of that. So we definitely want to take full advantage of all of that going live. It pops up on the screen. It notifies people that you're going live. And if they subscribe to you or follow you, they get in the front of the line. And it's kind of nice also because you can interact with your customers. Even if you go live a couple minutes before you're actually going to present, you can engage your audience and say hello to everybody as they're coming in. Lastly, Cisco estimates the video made up over 79% of all internet traffic in 2022. That is a lot of traffic, and that is a high percentage of that traffic. So if the audience that you're targeting is going to be online, you want to go on and try to capture that through going live. So Angie, I don't know, do you mind recapping, or you want me to recap?
You go for it.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot of places you can go live. Don't try to do them all. There's no sense in you doing a poor job on a bunch of things. If you know for a fact your audience is mainly on Instagram, or mainly on LinkedIn, or mainly on Facebook, that's where you need to go live. You can usually share this video later on another platform if you need to. You can upload a copy of it, but that's definitely where you want to target your primary audience, is wherever they are, fish where the fish are. It feels kind of intimidating when you first start doing this, but there's no easy way to, break the ice. You just got to jump in. You just got to jump in head first. If you want to practice, let us know. We'd be happy to run through something with you, and maybe do some kind of a co-sponsored little presentation. If you want to do something like that, it might be kind of fun to do. So let us know if you need more help with this, but the best way is just jump in and try it. And like I said, people are very forgiving. If you make a mistake, you can just delete it and start again. So another thing is, make sure you have a plan. Make sure, as Angie said, take into consideration the background noise. You want the lighting to be decent. You want to make sure that you have something to say. People want to hear something from you. I use the rule of 3 that I use on social media for going live. The same is, make sure it's entertaining, educational, or informational. If it's one of those 3 things, people are usually going to respond to it, and they're going to engage. And that's really what you want. Make sure you got good signal, and people can hear what you're saying. You can go live while out and about, or you can go live from your office or on a desktop. That the benefit of that is, if you're at some kind of a seminar, if you're at some kind of a convention, you can go live from the convention and say, hey, I'm here at the annual convention, look at what's behind me, look at all these people. You could interview somebody. A lot of people use going live to interview somebody real quick and say, hey, I'm standing here with so-and-so. Tell us a little bit about what your experience has been. So I would highly recommend just taking advantage and experimenting around when and where is the best place. It wouldn't hurt. Some people do a little cue card. They'll have somebody hold it up, and that way you don't forget what you're going to say, but you really just want it to be like bullet points. You don't really want to read off the card, because then it's kind of boring and defeats the purpose of going live. You might as well pre-record it if you're just going to read off a card. So lastly, it should be, as I mentioned before, educational, informational, or entertaining. If that's not something, you don't want to get on there and sell. The bottom line is, if you get on there and say, hey, you want to buy from us, and you start selling them, people are going to tune out. They're going to turn it off. And frankly, it looks like Google, Facebook, and many of the other algorithms, they suppress people that are constantly trying to sell everybody. They really don't push your content through to the top. So that's really what you want, is you want engagement, and you want people to see you when you pop up. So with that being said, I think we could probably jump into Q&A. I'd love to hear your questions. We may have a couple that have come in already, but we'd first like to give you guys the opportunity to share. So we'll unmute mics, and if you want to type it into the the chat bar, we could answer it that way as well. So look forward to hearing what you have to say. If you want to leave us a review, we'd love to hear your feedback. You can scan the QR code on the screen and leave us a review. But yeah, let's see what kind of questions we got coming in, Angie.
Yeah. One of the questions it looks like is we got from somebody is which platform is better? And so we kind of spoke to that. This doesn't have there is no right or wrong answer to which platform is better for you. Or like, it's not a one size fits all answer, I should say. The answer is the platform or your audiences. So I would think for many small businesses, that audience would probably be that platform would still be Facebook, especially for service industries, which many of our clients are who join these calls. I would say Facebook and YouTube would be impactful. Instagram, it depends on how many followers you have and how often you're on Instagram engaging with your audience. Because of the feed in Instagram is a little bit different than Facebook, where it not suppresses, but you don't see as much content from previous days, where Facebook still tends to somehow just pop up a post from a few days ago every once in a while, where Instagram doesn't do that. So Facebook, I think for many of our clients would be the best platform. And then I would actually say probably YouTube would be number 2 for many of our clients.
Yeah, and I'll comment on that also, Angie. I've noticed that if you're doing a lot of Facebook engagement already, you may not pop to the top because there's so many people that are already doing things. If you go to a YouTube, if you don't have as big a following on there, one of the advantages to going to a smaller platform is there's not as many people doing it, so it's not as congested. So if there are people online on YouTube and you have a connection with them, you are probably going to get a little bit more visibility when you're pushing your live message out. But other than that, wherever your audience is obviously where you want to target. But there sometimes is an advantage to going with a smaller platform if it's newer. So I anticipate if Thread does this, they're probably going to push people to go live, and you might get a little bonus, impetus if you do something like that. So just be aware there are advantages, and we'll let you know those things as they come out. We post a lot of things on our Facebook page. We post a lot of things on our blog. So feel free to follow us on any of those platforms so you can see what the latest and greatest is. And anyway, there's once in a while, point is there is once in a while that there's an advantage to going with a smaller platform. But overall, general rule of thumb is go where you have the most people that are following you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I think most people that are following you, and then also to think about where people interact the most,
Yes.
is really, really helpful.
Hey,
Tamara,
and
yeah, go for it.
Paul, would you guys talk just a little bit about, I mean, of course, going live, it makes sense. You just hit a button and you go live, but could you explain what the difference between that and an event, an actual go live event is?
There's not really much difference about it, but a go live event is something that's pre-scheduled. So if you had a kickoff event or something like that, you could pre-plan an event that is live. And so I think that sends out more notifications to your audience.
Yes.
So that would be helpful. So if you say moved into a new office or warehouse space and you were having a housewarming barbecue kind of a thing, you would want to do an event like that because you know exactly when you're going to go live. So if you have a standing time, those are helpful and can be really nice because it can help get more chatter online about your live video that's coming. But if you're just maybe at a chamber of commerce and you want to showcase a new business in town, I would say probably not an event. Then that would just be a going live as opposed to a go live event.
Because you then have so many followers on your channel, say your Facebook channel, does that mean it sends a notification to just your followers? Do you know?
It depends on probably the notification settings for all of your users. I know on Instagram, when you go live, it says typically we are telling your followers. I don't know on Facebook, and again, I think it very much depends on people's notifications.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it will, if you are going live and somebody is on Facebook, for instance, app or desktop, in the feed, the videos then usually pop up kind of wherever they are in their feed, because again, all these platforms are incentivizing you to do live videos by giving you the most eyes possible. They want you to do live videos and they want you to spend time on on their platforms, because we and our eyeballs are the commodity that they want on that platform. So they are going to do what they can to get us as a page, as businesses, to try to capture more of those eyeballs for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's always, even since it's been a thing here, I've noticed that it looks like all of the platforms really promote the live feature, because it does appear people would prefer something that's authentic and real. Whereas if something is pre-recorded, it tends to be a little bit more canned and a little bit more scripted. So people seem to like that reality TV show feel, of, hey, I'm standing here in front of wherever. So take full advantage of that.
Yeah. Tamara, are
Excellent.
there any other questions in the chat that you're able to see?
Let me look in here. Let's see. Let's see. Don't see anything else right now.
That's all right. Well, I think that was all I have. Our next training will be Wednesday, August 9th on website accessibility. Tamara and Paul will be speaking with you guys on that. So if you we'd love for you to join us. These are standing calls on the second Wednesday of every month at 1 o'clock Central Standard. So we would love to have you join us on that call and all of the ones after. So thank you, everybody. We so appreciate you being here.
Yes. Thank you.